that is quite the troll. That's a really good troll. Like, wow. I gotta admit, that surprised me. That really surprised me, because I legit thought that Ray was burning alive. That man roasting like a marshmallow, but wow. He's alive. Gotta hand it to the writer for that. I legit thought he was dead. That makes me question a lot now of my thoughts of the series, because if I thought Ray was dead, but then he, he's alive. What if the mangaka is doing the opposite, or the similar to what's going on with Norman? What I'm getting at is we all assume Norman is alive, because we didn't get to see it. It's off screen. We assume he's alive. But what if that's, what the mangaka is going for? The mangaka wants us to assume he's alive, but in reality, he's dead as fuck. Like, he gone. He dead. What if? Because that's what I'm getting from this Ray chapter. That's exactly what I'm getting from it. Anyways, though, it seems like Ray's not a good listener, because clearly he didn't understand what Norman said in the first place. I don't want anyone dying, Emma doesn't want anyone dying, and the man just doesn't know how to listen at all. So, yeah. Anyways, though, the savageness of this chapter is just on a whole new level. We didn't just have Ray coming back in the troll from the writer, but Ray cuts off his own fucking ear. Yo, like, oh my, like, okay, let's just back up for a second, okay? Let's just back up to the beginning of the series, because I remember talking about this. I legit remember talking about this entire event of what happened this chapter. I remember stating about the trackers in their ears. There's a possibility that might get infected, because they're going to probably have to cut it out, because that was before we found out they might get it out a safer way. And I assumed they were going to have to cut it out or whatever. They were going to have to cut a big chunk of their ear out, which could possibly get infected, or they were going to have to chop off their ear. And I remember talking about there might be characters in the future to where they miss, like, their entire ear is gone. Like, half of their ear is freaking gone, or all their ear is gone. I remember talking about this a long time ago. Like, that was in the first, 10 or so chapters of the series. And I'm just surprised, very surprised, that actually is happening. I did not think our characters, Ray and Emma, would be earless. They have no ear. They only have one ear now in the series. That's a permanent wound to their character. That's not coming back. So, wow, that's like a permanent injury. I like that. I like permanent injuries in series. I do. I like to see characters, when they get an injury, it's there. It's not going away. It's done. Like, yeah, so that's going to cause some problems for them. That will definitely cause problems down the road with a loss of an ear. I mean, besides the lack of hearing, let's just talk about the situation with it getting infected, because I've already talked about this in length a lot of times already when it comes to, injuries, damages to your body or whatever when they try to escape. With that ear being cut off, that's going to get infected. That legit is going to get infected. Now, there is a possibility they might have carried medicine with them. That's a likely possibility or whatever. But still, that's going to get infected. And that's not going to be good if they get infected. Because at the end of the day, they're children on the run. They're going to be constantly on the run, going through the woods, going through dirt, whatever, trying to get the fuck out of there. And so they're going to be getting that ear infected. That's going to be bad on Emma and Ray. So that's going to be a problem. That will definitely be a problem. And let's not even get into the blood loss either. They're losing blood right now. I mean, blood's leaking out. That's a pretty bad injury, getting your freaking ear cut off. So yeah, they're losing blood, which could cause a lot of performance issues in the future of this, escape. But on top of that, infection will eventually set in if they don't have any antibiotics or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyways, though, it's just, wow. The way they cut off their ear, it makes sense. I actually am astounded by the fact that their ears are gone. Because I know I got trolled and that Ray is alive now. But I think I like this outcome a lot more. Because it's a permanent wound. It's a permanent handicap. They've lost an ear, a part of their body, just to get out of there. And that's going to add something so cool to the series. I'm so excited to see where that's going to lead. Not just in the fact of maybe a situation with it getting infected, but once everything is said and done, and they do eventually get out, when it finally heals, I wonder how that's just going to, you know, impair them in some ways, to where they're not going to be able to be like they once were. Also, the way Ray cut off his own ear to set up Isabel in the first place, that was some crazy shit. When Isabel was talking about the fire and all that, and then she was looking at the, you know, the radar, trying to find out where, you know, Ray was, if he was really in the fire or not, and you see the blinking, and then she's like, this smell and all that, I'm like, yo, he is burning alive. This man is roasting, okay? He is roasting, his flesh is searing, and that was actually just his ear. That was just his ear that was burning and making that smell, which I really appreciate how real that was. The smell coming off, to make it show that, you know, that is easily a way for Isabel to fall for that. Like, it makes sense how she fell for that, because the way, you know, Emma was reacting, she was freaking out and crying, but the smell on top of that and the tracker being inside of it, obviously Isabel's gonna fall for that, so it makes sense. It doesn't go against the writing of the series, what's been set up previously. But then going one step further, what Emma did on the spot, just cutting her ear off to, you know, juke Isabel right then and there to be able to get out of there, that's some good shit as well. So just well done, Emma, for what you did. Now let's talk about the big problem now, okay? Now that all of this is said and done, and there's just no going back now, like you cannot go back now with what has happened, let's talk about the big issue here, okay? Isabel, she knows now. She knows about Emma and Ray and how they set this up for an escape. They know the children's outside, so automatically she's gonna be booking it. She's gonna be like, fuck the building, fuck everything, let's go stop the kids. That's what she's gonna do. She's just gonna say fuck the building. She's not gonna even care anymore. She will probably not give a shit about the building. She's just gonna rush her ass over to the children. So now, Isabel's coming. Like, she's coming after them. There's no stopping that. We know she's very fast, and she can easily catch the children. And we know she's very savage when it comes to things. She'll snap your fucking leg to stop you. So because of that, we do know that Isabel, she is going to be there very soon. So that problem is not gone. That is still an issue right now. How would they deal with Isabel? Once they get to the wall and they may get on top of the wall, what's stopping Isabel from chasing them on top of the wall to pull them back down or whatever? That could happen, or one of the children getting grabbed. And since Emma's a type of character that doesn't want to leave anyone behind, and if Isabel grabs one of the children, obviously Emma's not going to continue on to go on with the escape. She's going to turn around and try to save one of the children, because that's just the type of character she is. So there's a big handicap here, a problem, and I'm just kind of curious where it's going to go. So besides all of that though, glorious chapter of The Promised Neverland. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next, because this chapter was straight fucking fire, and pun intended as well. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.